What's going on, Jeromes? So I still believe that JJ McCarthy is the future franchise quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, and we compared quarterback development to the stock market, right? And also team success and team development to the stock market, where if you zoom out, well, maybe not Friday, but if you zoom out long term, it's going to be generally going upwards, right? But if you just live in the moment every single day, every single hour, just watching that stock go up and down and up and down, you're going to drive yourself nuts, right? So JJ McCarthy stock up, fourth quarter against the Bears, week 1, the win against Detroit, stock down, the Falcons game, stock down, blah, blah, blah. So again, you're going to drive yourself nuts. And yes, you do need more than 5 games to judge if quarterback is going to be good. Generally, probably looking at 25, 30 games, right? But I understand we live in a microwave society where everything, you want it now. It's not going to happen that way, man. Right? And yeah, it's great that rookie quarterbacks have had great success recently. You look at Jaden Daniels last year. You look at C.J. Stroud the year before. But also, I mean, success is not linear. And I still believe that Jonathan James McCarthy is going to be that dude. And as we said, he does so many things that you want your average quarterback to do. Being clutch when it matters and just hitting bombs downfield, right? Just dropping dimes. Where McCarthy's so weird. Like, he can hit a dime downfield 40 yards, no problem. Probably what Kevin O'Connell found appealing about him in the draft process. But then a simple throw on the flat, or Justin friggin' Jefferson across the on the sidelines coming across against Noah Sewell, a linebacker, and he throws it 8 yards over his head. It looks like Sam Darnold week 18 against the Lions. Aye, too soon, right? But we got the full roller coaster experience from McCarthy. You had the interception early on where he was trying to force feed Jefferson. You had the interception later where, well, it was a great play by Nahshon Wright. 2 picks for Nahshon Wright, by the way. But also the Vikings were in scoring position, and McCarthy took that field goal off the board at least. So it was bad. But then, fourth quarter when the chips were down, big-time drive, 77 yards, 6 of 8, and a touchdown. No big deal. And again, someone who steps up in the clutch, that's what you want. But the stat line was not pretty again. If you zoom out, 16 to 32, completing exactly 50% of his passes. Ironically, Caleb Williams had the same exact completions and attempts, 16 to 32, 150 yards. 77 were on the last drive. 4.7 yards per attempt, which is not good. The touchdown at the end, the 2 picks were bad. No sacks, though. It was a great game for the offensive line. 2.22 QBR and a 47.7 quarterback rating, which his quarterback rating to start the last drive was like 14.2. Hey. And also, if you throw it straight into the ground, you get 39.6 for a quarterback rating. So that's just great. And if you look at his chart, again, we highlighted in yellow the drops, because drops are an issue too, right? Not to completely let McCarthy off the hook, because McCarthy's performance outside of the last drive was completely unsatisfactory. More is required. Yes, it is a game 5 of his career, but we got to start seeing some progression towards the end of the year, right? But also breaking it down. So McCarthy had 16 incompletions, 16 to 32. 6 were missed throws, just completely inexcusable. Sailed it. Sailing. So, just over 1 in 5 of his throws, 20% plus, were just wow. 5 of them were receiver drops. Now, actually occurred to me is like maybe the receivers aren't used to JJ McCarthy's velocity. Because remember, that used to be a thing about Bert Favre when he was in Green Bay. It's like, oh, he would break receivers' fingers because of the velocity of how hard he threw. Now, McCarthy, first off, if you can find anyone who, in their scouting report of the 2024 draft, said that JJ McCarthy lacks arm strength or he has a noodle arm, if they said that about McCarthy, you can safely ignore their opinion forever, because it's pretty clear, even back in Michigan, that the kid had a hose for an arm, right? 2 batted passes at the line, which forget how many batted passes that we've had recently, but it's a lot. So I wonder if it's something with his release point, if it's something that defensive linemen are picking up on tape. Don't know. could be puck luck too. 2 picks, and then 1 Addison DB mess down the field, which Addison kind of played defensive back on it, so it's whatever. But basically, 20% of his throws, no Gouda. No Gouda. And also, he certainly was not helped by his receivers. But you may wonder, like, hey, is Jefferson giving up on his guy because he was throwing his helmet on the sideline after a drop? Nah. But Jefferson said this postgame, at the end of the day, when it all counted and all mattered, JJ McCarthy stepped up. And he's talking about, hey, this is what I love about McCarthy too. It's like, hey, your day can be completely garbaggio, and that doesn't matter. Right? What can you do in the moment right now? And that's what McCarthy did, right? So, I mean, again, he threw for 73 yards and didn't have a completion in the second half before the final drive, but sucked it up and really took it to the Bears. And that's what exactly what you want in crunch time. Which, how about we just change crunch time to the entire game? How about we go with that? Yeah. And McCarthy this season. So a lot of people will just point at the black and white stats. And we talked about this last week where Bill Barnwell called him horrific or whatever he said. And black and white stats-wise, yes. But also, if you watch the game, it's almost like he's 2 separate quarterbacks. Again, hit dimes downfield, huge in crunch time, and then other times he has the accuracy of Anthony Richardson mixed with Tim Tebow, right? And you can't explain it. Don't know. But this season, 52.9% completion percentage, which is not good. He hasn't had a 60+% completion percentage game since week 1 against the Bears. He's 2-3 as a starter. He hasn't won at US Bank Stadium, which is kind of wild. He's taken 15 sacks, been kept relatively clean as of late. A 61.7 quarterback rating for the season. And what's sort of frustrating is that he can run. He's got 2 touchdowns, 1 each in the win, as well as averaging 5.2 yards per carry. He had 0 rushing attempts against the Bears the second time around. Now, yes, that could be part and parcel of Kevin Collins said, hey, protect yourself. But also, he's just passing up spots to run, which we complain about quite a bit, and we'll get to with quarterback issues. So, correctable issues. I mean, the glaring ones are not every ball needs to be 100 miles an hour. And you can tell, throughout the game, like when JJ McCarthy's starting to press a little bit, that ball is coming out fast and it's probably off target, right? And also, not every throw needs to be the home run shot. Downfield, yes, a lot of guys are being schemed open. Props to Kevin O'Connell. But also, you can take the path of least resistance. Like, you could check it down. Also, run sometimes when it's there. So the Addison drop on the skinny post, which should have been caught, yes, maybe Addison scores there, but there was so much real estate. I think it was 3rd and 5. He probably could have run for at least 10, 12 yards and slid, right? Because, yes, he's not as bad as Jackson Dart, but when he runs, he does need to take care of himself, right? But also improvements that we've seen this season, his release has gotten quicker, especially the first 3 quarters against the Bears. You could tell like he was thinking things was just like a half step slow. Same thing against the Falcons. He's getting through progressions better. You can see him going, duh. Also, sensing pressure in the pocket. I've gotten a lot better at that, but also there's a lot more pressure in the pocket first 2 weeks with Justin School at left tackle. And also, the deep ball is on point, generally. And that's the hallmark of McCarthy right now. He's hitting Jefferson and Addison, Naylor deep downfield, which is good to see, right? But also, I understand, like, a lot of Vikings fans were saying, boo, he's a detriment to the team. We need to see Max Bros show in. Well, here's the thing. You're so impatient. You're so impatient with the young quarterback as they get choked up. What happens if Brosmer comes in and looks bad? Then what? Then what do you do? Give him the hook. We need John Wolford in this country. Do we? Do we really? All right. And also, all right, so if some Vikings fans had their way, they would either trade McCarthy or draft a quarterback in the first round, go all in on Mendoza, get Mendoza. And what if that quarterback has his issues through 5 starts? Then what? Then, we get the next guy. Nah. Definitely giving McCarthy the rest of the season before even like a small assessment, right? Because ideally, the Vikings have 7 games left in the season. You want to see McCarthy improving on the soft skills, right? So a little bit more touch, a little bit more knowing when it doesn't have to be a fastball, right? A little bit, oh, hey, we can drop it in over the linebacker. Oh, we can hit the honey hole in cover 2. Oh, we can float this. We can give our receiver, like the Aaron Jones one. If he just gives a little bit more arc, just give it a little more float out there, Aaron Jones runs under that for a touchdown, right? So we need to see some progression there, all right? And remember, like Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, they basically bet their jobs on McCarthy, right? And they're going to see this thing through, and they had to believe, right? Because if they wanted to keep Darnold, they could have. If they wanted to keep Daniel Jones, they could have. If they wanted to sign Aaron Rodgers, they could have. Over and over and over again, we made this point, right? So you just got to grin and bear it, right? And there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but I promise you, if JJ McCarthy is going to be the guy, it's going to be worth it at the end, right? So you got to take the good and the bad right now. Could you imagine if there wasn't any good and it was just bad with McCarthy? Like if McCarthy was just Will Levis, right? But McCarthy, I feel like, has shown enough where he's earned a little bit of scholarship, a little bit of runway with the fan base. I understand the fan base is really impatient right now. Developing quarterbacks has not been, the Vikings' MO over the last couple of decades, but give it time. Tranquillo. You know he's going to go on the road and beat the Packers and they have 3 road division wins just to make this thing super weird. Why not, man? Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Jonathan James McCarthy, the roller coaster favorite ride. Let us know your thoughts. Comment section. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skol, production value.